If you're watching this video, you're obviously concerned about safety and operating responsibly. As you learn more about your new snowmobile, keep in mind there are dangers and risks involved in the operation of this vehicle that can result in serious injury or death. The first thing you can do to operate safely is read your owner's manual. You need to become familiar with all the systems, controls, and operation of the machine. Keep it with the vehicle at all times in case you need to refer to it when you're out riding. Before you operate, read all safety labels on your snowmobile. They're also a good practical source of safety information when you're out on the trail. Please refer to all state and local laws for age restrictions on snowmobile use. When selecting riding gear, the first thing you need is a helmet to protect your head. Helmets come in lots of styles. Whatever style you choose, make sure it's a helmet that meets or exceeds established safety standards. In the United States and Canada, approved helmets will have a U.S. Department of Transportation label on them. In Europe, Asia, and Oceania, approved helmets will bear the ECE 22.05 label. Make sure you and your passengers wear helmets every time you get on the snowmobile, regardless of the type of riding you'll be doing. You and your passenger also need to wear shatterproof goggles or a face shield when you ride. When it comes to clothing, make sure you're prepared, warm, and comfortable when you ride. Be aware of the weather forecast, especially the wind chill, and dress accordingly. Avoid wearing loose clothing or long scarves that can become entangled in moving parts. When you dress for snowmobiling, it's a good idea to wear layers. By layering your clothing, you can stay warm when the temperatures drop and still stay comfortable when temperatures warm up by removing a layer of clothing. Remember, Polaris makes a variety of riding gear, and all of it is specially designed to keep you and your passenger comfortable when you ride. Before you operate your snowmobile, perform the pre-ride inspection as described in the owner's manual. First, check the throttle for proper operation. It should immediately return to idle position without binding or hesitation. If it does not, don't start the engine. Have the throttle serviced immediately. You'll also want to test the throttle safety switch before the machine is operated. Here's how. With the parking brake on, start the engine and test the switch operation by pulling evenly on the throttle. When the safety switch is operating properly, the ignition will kill the engine. Check the brake lever. When the brake lever is squeezed, it should move no closer to the hand grip than 1/2 inch or 1.3 centimeters. A distance more than this, or a brake lever that feels spongy, indicates low brake fluid level or air in the hydraulic system. Check the park brake lever lock. Squeeze the brake handle and push forward on the brake lever lock. Hold the lock forward and release the brake handle. If the brake handle is squeezed tightly enough, the lock will move freely into place. Do not force the lock, or it may break. To release the lock, squeeze the brake handle until the lever returns to the unlock position. Check for proper steering operation. Turn the skis all the way, both ways. If any difficulty is encountered, check for ice and snow buildup. Make sure the hood is properly latched. Under no circumstances should your snowmobile be operated with the hood open or removed. Check the auxiliary shutoff switch for proper operation. You push down to stop the engine. Pull up to release and start the engine. The switch is designed to stop the engine in an emergency. Keep in mind that using this switch will ground out the ignition and bring the engine to a quick stop. Next, check the headlight, both high beam and low beam, for normal operation. Check the tail light and brake light for normal operation. If your snowmobile is equipped with mirrors, adjust them so they can be used to their full advantage. Driving a snowmobile requires your full attention. Do not drink alcohol or use drugs or medications before or while riding. The use of drugs or alcohol will reduce your alertness and slow your reaction time. Polaris produces high-performance snowmobiles capable of traveling at high speeds. Extra caution must be observed to ensure operator safety. Make sure your snowmobile is in excellent operating condition at all times. We strongly recommend that the operator check major and vital safety components before every ride. Refer to the owner's manual for a complete list of pre-ride inspection items. All Polaris snowmobiles are designed and tested to provide safe operation when used as directed. Failure of critical machine components may result from operation with any modifications, especially those that increase speed or power. Do not modify your machine. The snowmobile may become aerodynamically unstable at speeds higher than those for which it is designed. Loss of control may occur at higher speeds. Modifications may also create a safety hazard and lead to bodily injury. For your safety, always ride in a group of other snowmobilers, and always tell someone where you're going and how long you expect to be gone. If it isn't possible to ride with others, and you must travel into remote areas, always carry survival equipment that's appropriate to the conditions you may encounter. Things like extra clothing, a sleeping bag, a flashlight, food and water, a signaling mirror, a means of building a fire, and a two-way radio or cellular telephone. When teaching, operating a snowmobile requires skill and balance for proper control. Rider positions may vary with experience and the features available on some snowmobiles, but under many conditions, the proper position is to be seated with both feet on the running boards and both hands on the handlebar grips for proper throttle, brake, and steering control. While much control and maneuverability is achieved through the steering system in skis, maximum control is achieved by shifting your body weight. Maneuverability will change for lighter operators or snowmobiles designed to carry a load. Every snowmobile handles differently, and even the most docile conditions may become dangerous if operators drive improperly. If you're new to snowmobiling, acquaint yourself with the snowmobile and what it will and won't do under various conditions. Even seasoned drivers should spend some time getting the feel for a snowmobile before attempting ambitious maneuvers. When riding downhill, shift your weight to the rear of the snowmobile and reduce your speed to a minimum. Apply just enough throttle to keep the clutch engaged, allowing the engine's compression to help slow the snowmobile and keep it from rolling freely downhill. Use extra caution when operating on hilly terrain. If climbing a hill is unavoidable, keep your weight low and forward. If you must cross the face of a slope, keep your weight on the uphill side of the snowmobile to maintain proper balance and avoid possible rollover. Slow down when reaching the crest of a hill. Be prepared to react to obstacles, sharp drops, or other people or vehicles that may be on the other side of the hill. If you're unable to continue up a hill, turn the snowmobile downhill before it loses momentum. If this isn't possible, spin the track just enough to dig in to prevent it from rolling back down the hill. Stop the engine and set the parking brake. Keeping away from the downhill side of the snowmobile, pull the rear of the snowmobile around and point the front end and skis downhill. Remount the snowmobile. Restart the engine. Release the parking brake and descend the hill carefully. Don't jump your snowmobile over large drifts or similar terrain. Jumping may injure your back because of spinal compression that could occur when the snowmobile impacts the ground. The seat and suspension of your snowmobile has been designed to provide protection under normal riding conditions. Your snowmobile is not intended for this kind of use. Slow down when traveling near poles, posts, or other obstacles. Be especially alert if you're snowmobiling after dark. Always be on the alert for wire fences. Single strands are especially dangerous, since there may be a great distance between the posts. Guy wires on utility poles are also difficult to distinguish. Make sure the way is clear before crossing railroads and other roads and highways. The noise of your snowmobile will drown out the sound of approaching vehicles. Look ahead, behind, and to both sides before turning or crossing railroad tracks or highways. Steep embankments may also hide your view. Always leave yourself a way out. Use caution when operating your snowmobile on ice. Variances in snow depth and/or water currents may result in uneven ice thickness. You may drown if you break through the ice. Never travel on frozen bodies of water unless you have first verified that the ice is sufficiently thick to support the weight and moving force of the snowmobile, you, and your cargo, together with any other vehicles in your party. Always check with local authorities and residents to confirm ice conditions and thickness over your entire route. Snowmobile operators assume all risk associated with ice conditions on frozen bodies of water. Practice good trail riding etiquette. When riding with others, keep a safe distance. Communicate to oncoming riders how many are in your group. When stopping, do so on a straight section and move your vehicle as far off the trail as possible to allow others to pass. Respect your snowmobile, respect your environment, and you will earn the respect of everyone. Polaris is committed to supporting an environmental education campaign. We encourage state and provincial governments across the snow belt to adopt rigorous safety training programs that encourage protection of our environment, including wildlife and vegetation. Snowmobile clubs and other organizations are working together to protect our environment. Please support their efforts and operate your snowmobile with consideration for the protection and preservation of our environment. Thanks for watching. Before we go, let's quickly go over the ways to enjoy your Polaris snowmobile safely. To avoid serious injury or death, read and understand all warnings and the owner's manual before operation. This vehicle is capable of high speeds. Buried objects or uneven terrain can cause loss of control. Reduce speed and use extreme caution when operating in unfamiliar terrain. Excessive speed, especially at night or with limited visibility, can result in insufficient time for you to react to terrain changes, to avoid unexpected obstacles, or to stop safely. Never consume alcohol or drugs before or while operating this vehicle. In an emergency, push down the auxiliary shutoff switch located on the top of the throttle control assembly to stop the engine. Then pull the brake lever to stop. This vehicle is designed for adult use only. Check local laws for age requirements. When operating with a passenger on approved models only, reduce speed and allow extra space for steering and stopping. A passenger reduces your ability to control the vehicle. When operating on hard-packed snow, ice, or when crossing roads, steering and braking agility are greatly reduced. Reduce speed and allow extra space to turn or stop. Ride responsibly. Respect your environment and other riders. And always wear an approved helmet. eye protection, and adequate clothing while operating this vehicle.